Hey everyone, welcome to this week's AMA. Hope everyone is doing well. Well, where to begin? It's been another crazy week in the crypto world, so we'll talk a little bit about that, what's been going on with FTX. But then the big thing that we're going to talk about today is something pretty exciting, which is basically an opportunity on how we can all accumulate quite a generous amount of BOM and make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success for the BOM chain and the mobile app launch in January. So I guess just whistle-stop tour of what's been going on in the market. It feels like all of the days have been blurring into one. But so FTX situation, we know there's no bailout in sight. We know SBF stepped down as the CEO. We know as well that, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And I think just generally it's become very clear that, the scale of the malpractice was perhaps more significant than, everyone had realized with, some big players, the Citadel CEO sort of overtly in an interview referring to, the activity as being fraudulent. And I think we'll hear more about the specifics of that over the coming days. And unsurprisingly, we have seen the calls for increased regulation that I think we were all expecting as well. And it has been good to see a number of the big centralized exchanges sort of scrambling to, evidence their proof of reserves, etc. So while obviously the event's been terrible, it's good to see already there's being that push for increased transparency. And as we always say, that's what we're incredibly focused on. We know that BOM chain, the BOM mobile app will play heavily into that space, and of course is truly decentralized. That's one of the major benefits. We're breaking down the barriers to Web3, to DeFi, so that people don't have to depend on KEXs as they currently do in many cases. So anyway, I thought it was just worth a whistle-stop tour of that. But Aaron, anything you want to sort of just reflect on the revelations with FTX?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I mean, actually, I'll start with one thing that CZ actually said. I forget exactly what the tweet said, but something along the lines of, he'd prefer to not even operate, a centralized exchange once the tooling and, once the ease of use gets to a level that's acceptable or that's usable for the, the masses. And I thought that was really interesting. And that's, just further, emphasizes, our mission and what we're building right now, to have that ease of use, but keeping everything fully decentralized and transparent. So yeah, hearing that from CZ is, showing us that we're going in the right direction. Yeah, about Sam, I had a good comment like halfway through what you were saying, but I forget exactly what it was now.
Well, I was going to say, as Rob was mentioning there, the industry's focus now is on decentralization and transparency, right? And so we're capitalizing on that now in our marketing materials. So you're going to see a press release coming out announcing our BOM chain and mobile app launch dates. But what you're also going to see is the fact that we can now use that messaging where we are the solution to decentralization and transparency as a result of our products. So, it's obviously really bad that, so many people lost funds in FTX, but from a BOM perspective, it's just showing the power of what we're creating here.
I remember what I was going to say now. If half of the rumors are true about, some of the things that SBF orchestrated in the past in terms of, causing liquidations for his own clients or, causing the Luna situation, numerous people have said now, like, if just half these rumors are true, it's, no matter what crypto is doing at this moment, it's better that that entity is gone.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want those guys participating in the next bull run if that's the kind of antics they're up to. Right.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree with everything there. I mean, the market manipulation sounds pretty extreme. Stop hunting, layered spoofing, and various other things.
let's start from the beginning. I didn't mean to skip anybody's comments there.
Yeah, sorry.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Let's go,
hello.
bomb.
Yeah.
Let's. Now
All right.
Latest one.
Yeah. So with CXs going down, people will need an easy way to onboard and offboard fiat.
Definitely agree.
That's true. We will have an easy onboarding solution. Does the solution that we have also offer offboarding, Aaron?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to do anything that requires KYC. We're going to leave that all up to third parties. So there's various different solutions we're going to utilize, and most of them do have on ramp and off ramp. And we can definitely utilize numerous services to fill the gaps wherever service A might be missing coverage. Because that's very country dependent. So it depends on what partners we're working with.
That's a very good point.
I think well, I was just going to say, yeah, so V1 will definitely have onboarding, and as Aaron says, we've got some great partners, so if we can implement offboarding immediately, great. But I think it's fairly possible, Aaron, that it'll be a kind of slightly later release that we'll be able to integrate the onboarding element.
I think every partner that we're working with for on-ramping supports off-ramping. It's just a matter of what methods they support, what countries they support. Yeah. Do those jive with what our users need or want? Yeah. So based on that, we might need to get additional partners. The on-ramping is a lot easier, of course, right? Like, it's generally you can just do it with a credit card.
Yeah. Cool. I think we've got another question, but no, I mean, sorry. I was just going to very quickly say, Simon, sorry, just on that prior comment. I mean, I think
no worries.
The essence of it, though, is absolutely spot on. There are still barriers to, getting the masses involved in crypto surrounding on and offboarding. So in short, yes, we're definitely going to be focusing on.
I think one area where we could be super strong out of the gate, though, is, allowing numerous of our blue chips to be able to be bridged to numerous networks. So for example, crypto.com is their whole own story right now. I still got a withdrawal pending there for almost a week now, but
ouch.
But they used to allow BTC or Bitcoin transfers on and off of BSC, and now they don't allow that anymore. So now BTC is strictly BTC mainnet there. And I was using that quite a bit to not have to do swaps, right? So I could just move Bitcoin to and from mainnet to BSC with ease without having to swap anything. But that's not possible there anymore. So, that's one of the areas where we can really shine is for example, Bitcoin, we can have that bridge to Ethereum for wrap BTC. We could have it to BSC for BTCB. We, of course, have BTC mainnet. We can support all the major networks. And, that's something that I feel like that's one of the major reasons I use a centralized exchange nowadays is I don't have a good way to move Bitcoin from an EVM based chain to Bitcoin mainnet. There's no great decentralized option that I'm aware of. And last time I said that, somebody pointed one out to me. This was a while ago, and I looked and there was 0.1 BTC on the bridge or something like that, right? So it's there might be solutions that exist, but they don't have the kind of liquidity to actually make them useful for anything beyond dust, really. So that goes beyond just Bitcoin, right? That's all the major cryptos that are have a presence on any of these EVM chains. We can definitely support them. So, I mean, I'm not trying to understate how important fiat on ramping and off ramping is, but one area we can definitely shine right out of the gate is one of the major reasons I use centralized exchanges, which is just moving crypto around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the crypto, a lot of things change very quickly, and different chains might become more popular, and basically having that optionality of different cryptos from different chains, I think will be help future-proof us. Give users options, because everyone's a bit different. Everyone has a different portfolio, and everyone uses things differently. And having that optionality, I think, is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for example, I use
KuCoin.
I use KuCoin in addition to crypto.com, and neither one of them supports BTCB on BSC now. So it's I'm basically forced to do swaps when I don't want to swap anything, right? Just so I can move between EVM chains and Bitcoin mainnet. So Bomb app and Bomb chain will address that.
Well, let's solve that, guys.
Solve my own problems.
Simplify. Oh yeah.
Hey guys, Ezzy here. Quick question regarding CZ
Hey guys,
pegs.
Ezzy here. Quick question regarding CZ pegs.
Okay, you read it.
Oh, sorry.
I was just
sorry.
Go for it.
What is going to happen with CZ Bomb and CZ EMP? Right now, it's either the best time to stack up or time to abandon them. Can you confirm? Go for it.
I mean, I can't really give financial advice, but I mean, we don't plan on abandoning anything that we have. We potentially might put a governance vote out to switch CZ EMP to like a CZ ETH, potentially. And there's a way that we can do that that's fair, where, you know, peg would remain the same. You know, like I know EMP does a 4,000 to 1 ratio on EMP to ETH. So we can do a 4,000 to 1 swap from CZ EMP to CZ ETH. So essentially, if the peg's at 1.0, the peg will remain at 1.0. You know, it wouldn't impact peg at all. So in that case, you know, if I haven't looked at it in a little while, but if peg's low, it could be a great time to stack up on them. But I mean, we have a lot of tokens that are looking pretty tasty right now. So I'm not sure if that fully addressed the question or not. If anybody has anything else to add, feel free.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's right. I mean, we've certainly talked about the transition to CZ ETH, so it's something that needs sort of fleshed out a bit more fully before we put it to a governance vote. But yeah, I would just echo what Aaron said, that, you know, certainly nothing in the ecosystem, you know, will be forgotten about. The whole focus of the strategy is making sure that we bring health to every part of the ecosystem.
All right, let's get the next question. And if you want any more details on that, just feel free to follow up with another question. Can you go into detail regarding potential investors? How much are we allowed to say?
Well, probably nothing on the specifics, just given the But yeah, I think we can probably outline.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interested parties, and we're, you know, we've gotten proposals out, and we're getting further into the conversations. So yeah,
I think that's a good summary. You know, we've got a couple of, you know, obviously the way we structure the deals is, you know, bespoke depending on the particular investor's requirements. But, you know, all of them are incredibly appealing. But yeah, you know, with the sort of scale of investment we're talking about, it's not something that happens overnight. But yeah, conversations are definitely progressing well, and following the event last week, you know, we've seen a bit of a surge of interest, which is always great.
And that document that we're sending out to investors is looking better than ever. So
yeah, for sure. Cool. All righty. I think that's the end of the questions that we've got in the moment. So yeah, any final reflections just from anyone on FTX, the general market, before we get into the exciting stuff around the bomb bonus offer?
I mean, I'll just reiterate that, you know, it's, as much as it's bad, you know, in terms of what it's doing short term to the markets, you know, I think it's long term, it's going to be better that this happened this way. Now that everything that SBF has been up to has come to light, so it's better he's no longer a big player in the industry.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, definitely a net positive longer term, as painful as it is now. Yep. Cool. Okay, let's move on then to.
Just making sure you can hear me, because I'm connecting through the car here.
Yeah.
We got our first snowfall in Toronto, so I had to go get some winter tires on, an emergency winter tire replacement. So these are Canada specific problems that we're dealing with.
I just muscled through on the summers.
also do that. But yeah, on the FTX thing, it's just like you guys said, like it's a band-aid to rip off. And from what you're hearing in the crypto industry as a whole, you know, like a lot of people saw these things coming, and it's why everyone's been saying, you know, you can't really keep your funds on centralized exchanges. Like people have been saying that for a decade. And so this just shows, even when you really think that something's secure on a centralized exchange, you just never know. And you know, it's actually funny, from the province I live in Canada, it's in Ontario, they specifically restricted trading on Binance.
Or just even having an account there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can do nothing on Binance because they're, you know, they said they're trying to keep us safe from these centralized exchanges. Meanwhile, they let you go on exchanges like FTX and crypto.com and such, which you know, it's just funny that even in something like this, the regulators will handpick which ones you can use and all that. It just shows what we really need is a decentralized solution where the user can pick what they want, and there is no central point of failure or person to point of failure in the case of SBF. And that's exactly what we've got coming with Bomb.
So just to speak, like from my experience, you know, because I haven't been in crypto as long as, you know, a lot of people. I feel like when I first got into it, like I did keep a little bit of funds on exchanges, and you know, obviously, like everybody's heard the, you know, not your keys, not your crypto. And you know, I feel like just as I got more comfortable using, you know, decentralized or just DeFi in general, or just, you know, keeping all my assets on these EVM based chains, it just became second nature to me to just never keep anything on a centralized exchange. Like even before any of these issues even cropped up, right? I just, you know, I keep on crypto.com what I need on my credit card. You know, that's basically it. Like any money that's moving through there is there as long as it is pending a withdrawal, and that's pretty much it. So, you know, I think it's if people are keeping a lot of money on centralized exchanges, it might be a comfort thing, right? Maybe I got comfortable with it quicker than most, but yeah, and I think that's what our app is going to really solve, is that ease of use, and that, you know, guidance for the users is going to hopefully get that comfort level up a lot quicker.
Yeah, that is the plan, sir.
Sorry, Marcus, go for it.
I realized I'm actually wearing swag that crypto.com sent me, which is but I got the Bomb hat, so don't worry.
Tell them to send me my money.
Yeah, I mean, just final point on that. You know, over the weekend, there were a whole load of Twitter spaces, you know, just getting into all of the FTX stuff, some of the crypto.com fun as well. And, you know, so many of the big names in the space were just emphasizing, you know, the not your keys, not your coins mantra, you know, but many of them were talking about the barriers to, you know, people progressing from using centralized exchanges to, you know, decentralized wallets, cold storage, etc., and saying, oh, you know, we need solutions for this. And I was just sitting there going, well, you know, that is genuinely what we are solving with Bomb app. So yeah, I mean, having a decentralized wallet within literally 30 seconds, as opposed to having to go through the pain of downloading browser extensions, etc. I mean, I've commented on it before. I found that pretty daunting back when I first did it, and yeah, the experience with the app can be more different.
You know, it just goes to show that like we really got to focus on like reassuring the users and giving them that guidance to give them the confidence, right? Like we need to do a little bit more than just make it easy. We got to make it easy, but also have them understand and feel comfortable about what's going on, right?
Yeah, well, totally. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of personal accountability that you're taking on with self-custody, and we know that's a good thing, but yeah, it's scary in the first instance. So yeah, we need to emphasize the benefits really clearly.
Oh, we got a question.
Cool. Oh, we got a question. Yeah,
I'll read this.
Another great question in chats. With a Bomb Money app offering set returns, how will you assure people that those returns are safe? Any risk protocols to address sustainability? I'm guessing Rob's experience comes in handy.
Before Rob answers this, I just have to say that, like this is exactly what we love about Rob, is that like if you look at our team chat, like 80% of Rob's messages is I'm doing modeling on this. I'm trying to figure out how to do this with the least risk and most safest way possible. So I just love this aspect of Rob and can't wait to hear him answer this.
Sure. Yeah. So
I mean, I can go first
yeah.
if you want, and then you can fill it in, or if you want to.
Well, no, I mean, I'll kick off just briefly. I mean, I think it's a great question, and it's become even more critical that, we're really, really confident in the yields that we're providing and making sure that they are sustainable. So to Marcus's point, yeah, it's the case that we're doing a lot of modeling, to make sure that, we're comfortable with the APRs. But not just in looking at the ideal scenario, the market conditions, even as they are at the moment, we're also considering some fairly extreme downside scenarios. So it's critical that the APRs have really been thoroughly stress tested. So yeah, that's a big focus of mine at the moment. We're still working through that, hence the reason we haven't finalized the APRs. But yeah, a top priority. And for that reason, I mean, they're going to be very appealing APRs, but they're not going to be sky high. But they will be better than what you typically see in centralized solutions.
Yeah, and a good problem that we're going to face in the future is once inflows are high enough that we might potentially need to scale back the APRs, just because there's just so much funds in the farms that we it just basically it's going to be safer for us to scale back the APRs a little bit. And we can do that in the future, no problem, right? So it's like that wouldn't affect anybody's existing stake, but it would affect future stakes. So we'll have that flexibility to make adjustments if we see that any are needed. So I mean, if we take a couple $1 billion and we can't, we likely can't offer the same APR, right? It's we're not going to be able to produce that yield, but obviously, like after we take in the first couple $100 million, then we could adjust it accordingly and be ready for the next couple billion.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's it. We've got the infrastructure that we know we can scale, but there will have to be adjustments along the way. But yeah, thanks for the question. It was a good one. Well,
I think actually one thing that we might not have said there that's important is that the APRs that we're offering on the app, because of the fact that they're guaranteed, they are like much lower than what our farms are going to be producing, which is going to build up a huge treasury. So that way that we're able to process withdrawals without heavily impacting PEG. Obviously for overpeg, there's no need to like really dip into the treasury, but if for whatever reason, if we're like near PEG and we get a huge withdrawal, we'll be able to handle that without having to harm the health of any of the farms. So I think that's really important to mention.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I don't think we've got any other questions.
I think one more thing on that is that part of the transparency of BombChain is that assets will be, we'll be able to see the assets directly on BombChain. So when you put your funds to work on a centralized exchange, you have no idea what anybody's doing with that. So that's one of the advantages to BombChain as well.
Actually, speaking of that just reminded me of something that I forget the exact details on it, but I think something to do with FTX. They had actually wrapped Bitcoins. Like there was like 9,000 Bitcoins that they wrapped, that now there's no longer 9,000 Bitcoins that are actually behind those wrapped Bitcoins. So essentially they can't get redeemed. So it's like, that's something where like, us being fully decentralized, we'll have proof of assets, right? You'll just be able to look at a wallet and see that we're holding all the Bitcoin that, for every wrapped Bitcoin that we produce, right? So unlike those centralized entities, you don't have to take our word for it. You can take a look.
Yeah, totally. No, I think you're right. I don't think they had any Bitcoin on their balance sheet, despite them obviously holding large amounts for their customers. Apologies, but I'm just plugging my laptop in before it dies.
No, but I think it was actually worse than that. Like, I mean, obviously it's bad to, owe your customers Bitcoin and not have them, but it's even worse to like have a wrapped Bitcoin that is supposed to be one-to-one backed. You literally should not a wrapped Bitcoin unless you're holding a Bitcoin to back it, right? And I forget what the exact symbol was, but this thing was trading for like 30 cents on the dollar because You know, they're basically.
That Solid was it? It was like a Solana
Oh,
based wrapped Bitcoin.
yeah, is that the one that it was?
Yeah, I think
Where
so.
there's like no Bitcoin actually behind it, when that's supposed to be a 1-to-1 backing. If you're minting a wrapped Bitcoin, you have to hold that one Bitcoin. Like, you can't do anything with it. That's like, to me, like in crypto, like that's even worse than, like, obviously touching customers' funds is extremely bad, but like that is the next level bad, because that's it's supposed to all be based on contracts, and that's just really bad.
Yeah.
Like imagine, like, there's like 13,000 or I don't know how many wrapped Bitcoins there are on Ethereum, but like just imagine like all of those Bitcoins that are being held, that were used to create those wrapped Bitcoin. Imagine those all went missing. It's like, that would be catastrophic, right? And that's basically what kind of happened over there. So on a smaller scale.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a long list of things that are just pretty shocking. Alrighty, well, let's get into, I mean, that was an important discussion, but we'll get into the bit that I know people are excited about, which is the lock bomb offering. So Aaron, I'll pass to you to kind of provide an overview of what we're doing there.
So I was kind of hoping to have something to show you guys for the stream, but looks like we're running about 30 minutes behind on the front end dev work on that. But I'll definitely go over exactly how it'll work. So what we're doing is we're offering an incentive for people who want to earn a lot of free BOM and want to participate on BOM chain. And the way that we're doing that is we're allowing you to lock up BOM from now until December 7th, I believe we said. So yeah, so basically for just shy of 3 weeks, you'll have the ability to lock up BOM on BSC and redeem it on BOM chain 3 months after you lock it, basically. So you basically, so this is going to work in different tiers. So the highest paying tier is you're gonna 3x your BOM. So you put 10,000 BOM, you're gonna get 30,000 BOM on BOM chain, and BOM on BOM chain is the exact same as BOM on BSC. You'll be able to bridge it back and forth. So it's basically just free BOM. But the reason that we're doing this is because it's critical that we get BOM to the healthiest state possible prior to the B share emissions running out, and that's going to allow us to start our bonding program to get the protocol owned liquidity going. And it would just be advantageous for the whole ecosystem just to have BOM at a better state prior to the emissions ending, and prior to our launch of the BOM app and BOM chain. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. Anybody who wants to participate gets free BOM, and we get to lock up BOM. We only have 1.4 million some odd circulating supply right now. We're allowing up to 1 million BOM to be locked. So for that to even happen, that would require us to print more BOM, because there's just too much BOM locked up in certain places that there can't be 1 million BOM locked out of the current 1.4 million. So the way it's going to work is the first 250,000 BOM that gets locked is going to be eligible for that 3x. And then the next 250,000 BOM is going to get a 2.5x on their BOM they lock up. And you can participate in like as many times as you want, right? So you can deposit numerous times while we're still in that first 250,000. Then, once we're in that second tier, that's, pays you 2.5x, you can participate in that one as well. So you can deposit as many times as you want. And then you'll be able to redeem that on BOM chain 90 days after your latest deposit. So if you deposit on December 7th, but you've also deposited, several times prior to that, the unlock period is going to be, 3 months after December 7th, because that's your last deposit. So I expect it to do quite well. It's basically 3x on your BOM for free. So I know I'll be participating.
Oh, definitely. Me too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's very generous, and we definitely expect good uptake. I mean, I guess just somewhat going back to the point that was raised before around sustainability of APRs, clearly this is different from the kind of fixed returns we're offering in the app. But do you want to just summarize how are we funding this? And I think that would be something people are interested in.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to come from protocol BOM, put simply, right? So we have that's kind of part of the reason why we're doing a 3-month delay before it can be redeemed, just to ensure the protocol can generate enough BOM to cover that payback, as well as, with the, investments that we're going to secure, and even, with protocol funds, we'll buy BOM on the open market if it's under peg as well. So we'll have additional BOM that way. But, we definitely plan on having the protocol get enough BOM several times over, enough to cover it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, actually, we'll actually, like, so what we're going to do at first, actually, is we're going to have, like, that BOM available on BOM chain. So, I mean, the BOM is going to be available on BOM chain, and we're going to kind of just borrow it from the protocol, right? So it's like, even if BOM, for some odd chance, is not over peg enough to make the protocol print that much BOM by redemption date, we'll still have the BOM available there, and we'll just basically have an IOU from the protocol to, to the BOM chain BOM that's distributed. I really don't see that being the case, but it is something where we can definitely still pay out what we're promising we're going to pay out either way, and still stick to our word of, we're not minting BOM out of thin air. It's all going to come from BSC. But in that rare situation where we don't have enough from the boardroom by the 90-day period, we'll just have a short-term IOU, I guess, type of thing between, that contract and the boardroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is an important question. Good thing we have cover our bases.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a question here.
Yeah.
Can community validators participate in the BOM lockup, or is this separate? So this is completely separate from validators. Validators don't get 3x on their BOM. Validators are locking up BOM to secure the network. So, if anybody that is a validator would rather lock up their BOM for the 3x, we understand. We'd love to have as many community validators as possible, but I've already said in the past, it's probably not going to be, definitely at first, it's not going to be the best way to earn with your BOM. That could likely change in the future, but it's more for the, for securing the network, the prestige of having your own validator that you can call it whatever you want. It's really for the benefit of the whole ecosystem, and being able to vote on, letting in other validators, or just basically different aspects of, what's any major changes for BOM chain. So yeah, anyone that's in it strictly for the rewards, probably being a validator is not the right move for you. I think I've said that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We do have another great question here. BOM printed in the boardroom, will it still be on BSC, right? Or does it print to BOM chain?
Yes.
So short answer is definitely it will be on BSC.
Yeah, so it will be on BSC, but it will be bridgeable to BOM chain. So basically, the way it's going to work is we're gonna pre-mint 250 million BOM on BOM chain, and it's all going to be locked in a bridge. So basically, that BOM is going to be unlocked as people bridge it over. So that the only way that happens is if we mint new BOM in the boardroom. So that's why, having BOM and XBOM and having B shares in the boardroom, that's going to be the only ways to really get access to new BOM. So BOM chain is going to need a lot of BOM, and it's only coming from the boardroom and from XBOM. So, or from locking it up and getting a 3x or 2.5x or. So back to the locking, that's going to happen on the BOM Money app. So that'll be like one of the menu items at the top. We're actually going to clean up the menu probably today, just to remove some unneeded items, and just to kind of clean it up, just to get the important stuff right there front and center in the menu. Got another question here.
Oh, sorry. When and where are we going to be able to lock up BOM?
So it's actually the contract already works, but the front end is maybe half an hour away from being ready. So basically, you'll be able to do it as soon as we push the change to the front end, which should be very soon. So yeah, basically the where is app.bom.money, and the when is very soon.
Yeah, we'll post it on all our socials and Twitter, Telegram, Discord as soon as it's ready, along with the link. So just stay tuned, and it'll be out very shortly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, you get anybody that's not going to be around the socials, you can just head to app.bomb.money, like the same app that you always been using, and you'll see it in the top menu there once it's ready.
Yeah, it's definitely worth bearing in mind that the highest reward tier will be just for the first 250,000 bomb locked. So all the way up to tier 4, the rewards are very generous. But yeah, those first 250k get the 3x, and then for each 250k it goes down in 0.5 increments. So 250 to 500k 2.5, then 500, 752, and then 750, 1 million down to 1.5x.
Question from Captain Hindsight. The bomb lockup will be running alongside the P-Hub bomb farm. This is the purpose, right? Like the bomb lockup is happening alongside everything, right? We have bomb BTCB, we have P-Hub bomb, we have bomb B-Share, we have Bit bomb, we have our BitShare bomb, sorry, CZ Shares bomb. We have X bomb that's going to be paying insane APRs. So yeah, it's, we have a lot of great places to put bomb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have time so that the final point to lock bomb is after the emissions ending on bomb.money. So as Aaron said, it'll be the 7th of December is the final date for lockup, and emissions end on the 30th of November for B-Share.
Another question from Captain Hindsight. Are you worried at all about people pulling their bomb out of the bomb P-Hub farm and reducing P-Hub liquidity? Not really. I mean, they're very different. It's one is paying you B shares, which soon you won't be able to earn anymore. Sorry. Not really too concerned with that, and people do it. It pushes the bomb peg up, and P-Hub will recover anyway. So let the market do what the market wants to do.
Well, yeah, and just to add, obviously, per the last governance, we are incrementally building P-Hub liquidity as well. So, and with the emissions ending at the end of November, anyone who's likely going to, come out that farm probably would have done anyway.
So I think these two questions are kind of combined. Only one P-Hub farm, though, is my only concern, except for the BTCB one. Well, most of our tokens only have one farm, so P-Hub actually has two. You're very welcome. Yeah, I don't really think that's a big concern. We grew liquidity so much. Like I was looking at the numbers. We almost hit 10% of our market cap in liquidity. If you look at both the pools, I know our target said that we want 10% of the market cap in liquidity on the P-Hub BTCB, but like we basically got there between the two pools, or we got pretty close to it. I think P-Hub might have risen a bit since then, and that would then bring down the liquidity unless more got added. But let's actually take a look and see what we're at right now. I'm gonna look at a couple numbers. I don't really need to share my screen here. But... So we got 90 P-Hub in the BTCB P-Hub. And let's check the other one. We got 315 in the other one. So we have like 405 P-Hub available through the two pools. So, with a 10,000 total supply, basically with having 500 P-Hub in pools, because it has to be 50-50, matched with, or it has to be evenly matched with the other asset in the pool. Basically, as soon as you have 500 P-Hub in pools, you basically have 10% of your market cap in liquidity. So we're pretty close to that. So, it looks like we have a preview of the staking. Let me see how this looks before I share. Okay. I think it might need a little bit more tweaking before I can share, but yeah, I'm not able to hit the approve bomb button there. So
yeah,
let's see.
I mean, it's gonna be a pretty familiar experience for our existing investors. I mean, the UI looks very similar to XBomb. So yeah, I think those who are kind of familiar with the bomb protocol find it nice and easy to navigate. Or, well, anyone will, to be honest, but particularly those that are already in bomb.
Yep.
Cool. Okay,
Well,
but
anyways,
no,
that means that it will be ready very soon, though. It looks like it just needs a couple of very minor tweaks. And
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I gotta get home so I can get my bomb on there.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that first 250k. Cool, but yeah, so look out, everyone, for the sort of communication. Just confirming that's all ready to go, and then, as we were saying, that'll be available until the 7th of December. So plenty of time, but equally, just bear in mind the tiers. So as we progress through the tiers, the rewards will go down, albeit still be very generous.
I see the problem. The problem is that our deployment URL, it's not authorized to use our premium anchor node. So this should actually work if we deploy it to production. But we'll do a little bit more testing before we do that.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so I think that was everything then, in terms of what we had on the agenda. Marcus, maybe I know we talked about it a little bit, but perhaps just worth a bit of an update on the survey. You touched on the press release as well a bit earlier, but perhaps delve into that in a bit more detail.
Yes, sir. So we've got a press release going out today. So you're going to see our launch date of January 9th being broadcasted to the media. So that's going to end up hopefully on similar pages as we did last time on Yahoo, on Market Watch, and all these. We'll try and get picked up wherever we can. But yeah, we're emphasizing the launch date. Our working with Anchor on it, and also the fact that we're kind of capitalizing on the unfortunate events of the FTX fiasco. But the problem that arose from that is exactly what these products that are launching Jan 9 are here to solve. So that's going to be in this week's press release. And as soon as we get picked up on media, we'll be sharing those links again. So yeah, do follow on our socials. And the more exciting part is our survey is already in market. So it's already done. So these are across North America. We're surveying 1,000 people, just general population, because we're trying to get a sense of, not just crypto users, just general population on what their investment habits are. And so we're going to find out, different demographics. Do they invest in crypto? Do they invest in TradFi? And what are the barriers to entry to crypto? What are their expectations in crypto? So we're going to get a lot of very valuable data from this. And we should have the final results by this weekend. So next week, we're going to take all that data, use it for our own internal purposes as we develop our products here. But also what's going to be really cool is we're going to be, creating a bunch of stories using this data and putting it out into media. And so we anticipate a lot of pickup because it's such a hot topic right now, but to have actual data that's, Bob Money owns this data. So to have this data out there, and anytime anybody uses it, they're going to have to source Bob Money as the owners of the data. So we're going to have our own stories, and then we're anticipating other media picking up some of those as well. So in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be we're going to be, everywhere again. And additionally, aside from the media and PR, we're also starting to look at some more events. So 2023, we want to do more than we did, the Toronto event. We're looking at potentially in Europe. We've got the United States, and then another one in Canada that we're looking for 2023 already. So we're in talks with a bunch of places there. So it's going to be 2023 going to be year of the bomb.
Yeah, no, totally.
Couldn't agree more.
Lots going on.
We got a question here. I'm not really sure this is a noob question, but
no such thing as a noob question.
I think it's a fair question anyways. So we'll just remove that noob part. So good question here. I'm currently in the farms to create B share until November 30th. Is it better for the ecosystem to keep those farms or take out all bomb from those farms and lock up now? So in terms of what's better for the ecosystem, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Like I know some whale friends I have, like I might say like, you know, don't jump in the farm with everything you got on day one, just so you don't kill the APR. But I mean, unless you're a massive whale, being in the farm or not being in the farm is probably not affecting other people's APRs. So, I mean, and that's again, something that if you're really conscious about, you know, helping the ecosystem, you know, as your number one priority, like that's something that you might be concerned with if your position was massive. It's really honestly up to your personal opinion of what you want. You know, it's something where, for one, there's not a huge urgency, I guess, on the bomb lockup. If we're still under that 250K, like you could get in after the farm's end potentially. Yeah, none of this is financial advice. Thanks for the help there.
Well, we're talking what's better for the ecosystem, not for the individual's wallet.
Yeah. To be honest, like I would recommend you do what's best for you, or what you think is best for you. Nobody really knows what the price action is going to be. So it's, you know, as much as I'd even love to give financial advice, even though I'm not allowed to, I mean, I don't know where things are going to go. So I can't even really say, right. But I don't know personally. So like what I've been doing is I've been looking at the ratio between bomb and like B share, and the ratio between bomb and P hub. And, you know, for example, like when I entered some of those bomb P hub farms, the ratio was like 1,500 bomb per P hub. And now it's closer to like 750 or 700. So I'm very bullish on both, but my LP is a lot more P hub heavy than it was. So I actually don't mind to break it at this ratio, because I don't mind to take those extra P hub. That's the angle that I look at when I kind of try to answer this question for myself. Throwing the lockup in there, I mean, if it's getting, I mean, 2.5 times is still pretty good if you miss out on that first tier, right? So it's not like you're missing out on a ton if you don't get that first tier. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I think you've given a good answer. You know, do what's right for you. Yeah, and as Aaron says, unless you've got a huge position, it's unlikely that, you know, if you do choose to exit the farm now, it's going to have, you know, a drastically negative impact on the ecosystem. Sorry for the background noise there. So yeah, I think just, you know, do whatever your kind of preferences.
I do want to say though that, you know, I do really appreciate you asking what's better for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know, it's something. There's very select few people that, you know, really take ecosystem health as the number one, and you know, it's something that, you know, when I see that, I do really appreciate that. So as much as I do think that you should do what's best for you, I just had to call that out. That really appreciate wanting to help the ecosystem.
And just from like a diversification perspective, I tend to like, there's obviously not financial advice, is just what I like to do is, if I'm not sure of, you know, if there's choice A or choice B, I pretty much will always go 50-50 into both. And then at that point, I'm thinking I won't regret the decision, because if one of them goes up, then I'm still in it. If the other one goes up, still in it. If I went all in choice A and I missed out on B, you know, I always feel like, oh, I'm going to regret it. So that's just what I always like to do, is just 50-50 it, and either one can turn out and I'm still happy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, you know what, I think like both of those two farms that we have now, like the B share bomb and the P hub bomb, like I'm so bullish on all three assets. It's like I'm earning B shares while I get to hold these assets. Like it's, you know, I'm really loving those farms. But at the same time, like I mentioned, right, like I am keeping a pretty close eye on the ratio to see, like, you know, I think that, you know, bomb has a lot of potential. I think it's, you know, bomb is amazing, but I think P hub has, you know, moon potential, whereas bomb is going to, you know, we're going to mint new bomb when we're over peg. So, you know, I don't, you know, even though I already have quite a substantial P hub holding, I don't mind to break the LP when it seems advantageous to do so. Based on that ratio. Actually, if you want, I can give you guys a quick demo of how I check some of that stuff out. I mean, some of you guys might already know, but just in case you don't. I can kind of show that to you guys. Let me share my screen real quick here. Well, actually, we didn't even mention, but we have a call with Anchor actually in like I think we pushed that half an hour earlier, so we got to do that in about 9 minutes.
Yeah.
But I have time to show this real quick.
Quick comment. 3 times bomb plus repeg equals cash. That's the plan.
All right, so let's look at bomb PUB. So first thing I'll do is I will switch this up. So we're looking at the PUB price now. Right now it's defaulting to US dollar, so I'll just switch to price and bomb. And here's our ratio. So, I entered a lot of this farm, between, 1,500. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Let me zoom in a bit. I entered a lot of this like over 1,000. So when this ratio goes down, the LP is a lot more PUB heavy than it is bomb heavy. So, so like because of how bullish I am on PUB, I don't mind to break that LP now, as much as I haven't really broken that much because the farm is quite juicy, but I wouldn't mind breaking it. The one that I've been watching a little bit closer is the B share bomb. So let's jump down to the B share bomb here. I skipped over the BNB one. So right now we're looking at again, this is inverted, is it? Yeah, so right now we're looking at the price of bomb. So let's switch to the price of B share. And instead of looking at US dollars, let's look at price in bomb. And let's switch this. So this is another one where, I feel like the ratio is probably as low as it's going to go. And again, I'm very bullish on all the assets, but again, B share is another, moon token, where bomb has a ton of upside, but it is somewhat limited once we get to peg. So this is a ratio where I'm looking to break that farm, to be honest, personally. But obviously take that and do whatever you want with that information. But that's the major factors that I'm looking at more than anything else. So if you guys have any questions about how I did what I just did, or feel free to ask me. But pretty much just went into the charts and was looking at B share and PUB paired with bomb and switched up, which asset I was looking at the price of. So I switched it to looking at the B share price or the PUB price. And then I switched it to showing me the price in bomb as opposed to US dollars to check the ratio.
No, I think it was a really
rewatch the video for a nice little tutorial.
Yeah, totally. I was just going to say, I think that's a really good overview though, because with the farms being so generous, I mean, clearly that's great. But based on your own preferences, you might from time to time need to consider kind of doing some rebalancing of your portfolio. So I think that's some good insight as to how you might want to approach that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen that can force the bomb peg up very drastically, very quickly, which could see B share, jump to $100, let's say, right? This ratio is not going to be at 40 anymore in that case, right? It's going to be at back at, 50, 60, 70. So, your LP is going to be a lot, heavier in bomb than it is in B share at that point, which is not a problem. I mean, they're all great assets that have a lot of upside. But if you're really trying to min-max everything and you think that, B share is going to spike more than bomb in the near future, you might want to consider breaking some of the farm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but again, the farms are paying so well that it's hard to break it, right? But I don't know. I've broken just a small amount. Like I haven't broken anything serious just because of how well they're paying, but that may change very, very soon.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say that. So we have this deployment or this preview deployment working, or not working yet, but I have to just make a minor change. Then we'll be able to test out the front end for the staking or for the locking of bomb. And probably have to do that right after our call with Anchor, just because we're going to be tied up there. But so I'd say within like 45 minutes to an hour, probably we'll have that live. Maybe give us 2 hours max, but I mean, if everything's good with this preview, if nothing needs to be changed, then it could be live very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we'll get that communicated as soon as it's ready. Alrighty, well, we've got another few minutes before we need to dash on to our call with Anchor. So if anyone's got any other questions or comments, feel free just to drop them in. if not, we can get wrapped up.
Exciting month ahead, folks.
You're very welcome for the demo. Always happy to show my advanced degen ways.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we'll wrap up there. But yeah, a big thanks as always for everyone that's come along. Thanks to anyone who's listened back on the recording. Please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and yeah, just please do keep on spreading the word about all the exciting stuff that's going on with Bob.
Yep. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks.
See you guys
See
in
you
our
guys.
Twitter space Friday. Be there or be square.